It's funny how you say that to me, like I'm not watching it with you every day.
All right. How about...
Or that I've never heard of it before.
I think you're right about the dogs. How about you pick the name?
Sure. Oops. Should I take that one that flew out? Look, there's one on the side.
Okay, just take it.
Oh,
It's your friend. Your friend in...
My friend Erin in Alberta.
In Alberta. So do you put their name back in?
No!
Oh, that's it. Her name is... It's over. It's over, Erin. You only got one prize around here.
Well, no, but if they engage this... If she were to engage this week, then we would put her back in, right?
I think you got to have a cool down period of a month. Remember when you used to win all your prizes on the radio?
They wouldn't let me
You never play any radio games.
There's no more. They changed the radio.
The radio has
happens.
changed?
So
what? There's radio and there's phones, so what would change?
It's online.
Literally
it's
the
online.
same thing as 10 years ago.
No, it's not the same thing. All the contests are online.
It's like, you know what changed? Like drastically like that? Cereal boxes. Now the prize is not in the box. It's like online with a QR code. Ew.
Same.
I think
same.
literally we used to eat cereal for the
just for the prize.
thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what any of them were, but
it
was important back then. They literally were probably garbage. But it was fun. It's just the point of something in something that is suggested as a prize. Mm-hmm. I think it's a marketing tactic somehow. All right. Open my eyes. My eyes are blurry. Do your eyes work better at certain days, certain times of the day than others?
My eyes don't work great first thing in the morning, and they don't work great late at night.
So midday, you got your eye game. Your eye game is on.
They haven't eaten. They're mad. They're mad that we haven't fed them.
I'm putting one outside. The one with the elevated heart rate.
Buddy wants to play, and Mocha does not want to play. Oh, Buddy, she won't play with you? Oh.
Eye game.
Now they're going to stare at each other through the sliding.
Okay, July 13th. How's your iced coffee? I don't think that's the right way to wake up. I'm not criticizing or condemning
I'll tell you the honest truth. I do prefer...
For me, that would be horrible.
I do prefer a hot coffee first thing in the morning, especially because it's so cold in this air-conditioned house. I do prefer a hot coffee first thing in the morning. However, I wanted to get it in me.
Well, why don't you just take a shot of espresso?
I should.
Like, it's
I
so
don't
much
enjoy
better
that.
like
I
that.
enjoy this.
Really?
I enjoy this, yes.
Isn't that like drinking an iced tea, like the American iced tea? Kind of the same thing. It's not cold brew. It's
vanilla flavored.
Yeah, but
and
it's just
espresso.
It's espresso and water.
Yes, I put too much water.
So it's like an Americano, iced Americano.
Yeah. It's got robust
I get the
flavor.
cold brew. My friend Joe Booch, he makes cold brew like in a thing.
Yeah, and it's really good. Yeah, I know. It's different. You should try that. You should make me cold brew.
I would have to talk to Joe Booch and get his machine.
This has slightly too much water in it, so it's like not as strong as I would like it to be, coffee flavored wise.
Why don't you just warm it up and take your espresso shot like a man?
I don't. No. I enjoy this. I am going to get. I'm going to get.
So you don't enjoy espresso because it's too strong?
Yeah.
Yeah, but our machine makes them beautiful. It's not bitter. It's smooth.
I don't like it.
Really? You weren't a shooter girl at the bar.
No.
I would. No? I've seen you take a couple shots back.
Stop it.
Remember going out to eat afterwards after a show? And we went to the Mexican place that was like the weirdest dance club bar that we've ever been to, but we were there for the food. And there was a gentleman that was a few tables over, and they were like the super cool, the buttons down to here, and they thought they would buy my two friends a couple rounds of shooters.
No, he sent, he was old and like a Mexican. Or like no,
we're at a Mexican restaurant.
No, yes, and he looked like I felt like I was in Mexico.
It was very.
That's all I'm saying.
It was a very intimidating time, and we didn't think that we belonged there or should have been there.
4 shots showed up at our table, and none of us drink.
So none of us drink. One of us can't and should never drink again.
Allergic.
And then
breaks it in handcuffs.
Vicky womans up and takes all the shots.
So one was pregnant.
But she takes all the shots because we know club life, and it would be a sign of disrespect if you didn't take the shots. Didn't another round come over?
And
I think you...
and it wasn't even good tequila.
No, I think it was like, club... It was club tequila where they water it down. Anyway, thanks for taking that for the team, but I think you should be able to do that with an espresso is my point.
But then a weird thing happened, and I realized that I'm really grateful that I don't drink, because I took those shots.
And you didn't break out in handcuffs.
I don't typically break out in handcuffs when I drink alcohol. But I haven't drank in a couple of years, and I was disappointed that I didn't have like a little buzz. And I remember thinking...
This is all on camera. Maybe you're an alcoholic.
I remember thinking... I'm really grateful I don't drink. Because
you actually like the
yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like getting that physical, the physical feeling. What do you call that?
What's the ease and comfort? It's the physical, what physiologically alcohol does to a person.
So
the difference is, in me, it produces a craving for more of it.
Okay.
And then my life becomes unmanageable and I don't stop drinking. I might get away with it for a couple shots, but then the mental obsession kicks in. Okay. And I think I could do it again because it was so relaxing. And then blah, blah, blah.
So it's not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the fact that alcohol changes our brain chemistry and our physical chemistry, whatever. And then we have a little buzz and it's whatever for the evening. That in and of itself isn't bad. Most people would say oh, what's wrong with that? There's a percentage of people that the next day their brain is still reacting, even though the alcohol's now worn off. So the next day their brain is still reacting and turning and trying to figure out how they can get more.
So we would say that's the abnormal reaction of the craving, the phenomenon of craving. And then the obsession that I think about it, and my obsession leads me back to doing it again. Where you've probably never thought of those shots of tequila. Oh, maybe you do.
No, I never thought of those shots of tequila, but I remember a few years ago when you were not drinking, but you were okay with me having drinks. And I remember manipulating, hey, what do you want to do this weekend? And I'd be thinking, well, where...
Let's go to the cigar lounge.
What could we do that if we do it, I could have a couple drinks? And so then I'd be let's go to the cigar lounge, because we'd go to the cigar lounge, you'd have a cigar, and I'd have a couple drinks, one or two. And then I got to a point where I was disappointed. I was oh man, I didn't have a little buzz. I wanted the little buzz. And so then I just realized I want to figure out what's going on here. Why is this happening? Why am I disappointed that I didn't get a little buzz? And so that was part of stopping drinking.
I'm full of beans.
You know what someone told me the other day? Is this too much talking? I know. Got it in me. Someone told me the other day that they've also stopped drinking. So the two of us don't drink, and we were chatting about it. And they have someone in their life who won't, who keeps asking them why. Well, why? Mm-hmm. Why can't you just have one drink? What's the big deal? Just have one. And they have a relationship, and they see each other fairly often, and it comes up in conversation often.
People think you're not trustworthy, you're broken. Trades. If you don't go drinking with the boys, there's something wrong with you. So there's a lot of pressure. Do you think it could affect your
career?
It could, but then so could drinking. So.
True.
All right, here, you read.
So my point was...
We're already 10 minutes into the video. Okay. What's your point?
My question was, how would you handle that situation if someone kept asking you? And you've told them, you've explained to them, well, it's not just about one drink for me. I can't just have one drink.
Punch them in the throat.
I want the whole bottle. Whatever it is.
Throat punch?
No, but what would be an assertive or is there a boundary that you could put then? Or what would that be called?
I don't know. I have a high tolerance
for people
Maybe,
being stupid.
yeah.
You have a high
I would
tolerance
probably
for other
just tell
people.
them you're dumb. I break out in handcuffs. I turn into an animal. It tried to take my life, and it's something that I don't ever need again.
Yeah, I guess because
There's
you
people
went,
that try to convince people that it was probably just a phase, or
right.
now that you got your life back together, you can surely have one. But that's the mental obsession.
But I also
have that going on in my head all the like not all the time now.
I think for this person, their life never seemed like it wasn't together. That's, I think, maybe part of the problem. So I just said that I would say, I really value your friendship, and I explained this to you, and I need you to let it go.
Yeah, and now we're not friends.
Like, no,
Throw punch.
Stop it.
Okay, God, as we understand God. You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm busy here holding
You
the
look
baby.
busy eating super calm. Hi. God is subtle, but he is not malicious. Albert Einstein. Recovery is an intensely spiritual process that asks us to grow in our understanding of God. Our understanding may have been shaped by early religious experiences or the beliefs of those around us. We may wonder if God is as shaming and frightening as people can be. We may feel as victimized or abandoned by God as we have by people from our past. Trying to understand God may boggle our mind because of what we have learned and experienced so far in our life. We can learn to trust God anyway. I have grown and changed in my understanding of this power greater than myself. My understanding has not grown on an intellectual level, but because of what I have experienced since I turned my life and my will over to the care of God, as I understood, or rather didn't understand God. God is real, loving, good, caring. God wants to give us all the good we can handle. The more we turn our mind and heart towards a positive understanding of God, the more God validates us. The more we thank God for who he is, who we are, and the exact nature of our present circumstances, the more God acts in our behalf. In fact, all along, God planned to act in our behalf. God is creator, benefactor, and source. God has shown me beyond all else that how I come to understand God is not nearly as important as knowing that God understands me. Today, I will be open to growing in my understanding of my higher power. I will be open to letting go of old, limiting, negative beliefs about God. No matter how I understand God, I will be grateful that God understands me.
I heard a saying the other day, and this is a beautiful thing about a 12-step program, is that they lead you into truth and into relationship with God through the death of self. And so they don't go, this is God. And so many of us have come from those super religious backgrounds. But I heard it said that I'm not young enough to know everything yet. Did you understand?
You're not young enough to know everything yet.
When you're young, you know everything.
everything.
I've worked with many guys at treatment centers, and the hardest guys to work with would be Christians that come in with this preconceived notion of who God is. And I understand that we can know God, but there's so much to God, and I think sometimes our intellect puts God in a box. And I've seen guys continue to use because their religion got in the way.
They know everything. They have this problem with substance misuse that's causing all these problems in their life, but they have God, so they have all the answers. So there's hopelessness. There's no solution for this if I already have the solution. This is a separate problem.
But it's a delusion that they do have the new solution, which is God. Just because you have belief in God doesn't give you access to God. We should just leave it on that one.
No matter.
God's a lot bigger than I think we give him credit for. In a step 2 assignment, my friend, she was given the task of like, who is God to you? And she was agnostic at best and really wanted nothing to do with God. And she was told to do this assignment, and she was told by her sponsor to quiet your mind and just pen, paper, who is God? And she came out of it. I think she saw a picture of a rose and the word love, and she wrote love on her whole page. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's like, wow.
It's beautiful.